All right. I am also going to share my screen. I have a little presentation just to guide our conversation. So welcome. Thank you guys so much for coming, and thank you to those who are going to watch later. This is why we are recording it, so we can have a larger audience. But I am really excited about your interest in the youth gathering. I have been to two. I never got to go as a youth, but I've been to two as a pastor at Mount Pleasant, and this will also be Adam's first gathering. So Adam and I are going to be leading this information section, and Adam is going to be our primary contact with my support. So if you should have any questions, there will be a Q&A question part at the end, but you should have any questions, either of us are contacts, but Adam is the leader of the pack. So here's the dates. Obviously, because of the pandemic, it was supposed to be in 2021, and now it's in 2022. So it's in Minneapolis, and I was excited about that when they announced that at the last gathering in Houston, because it's much closer than Houston. So, so the mission of the youth gathering is to help with faith formation for teenagers. Everyone who is currently in 8th through 12th grade is eligible to go to the ELCA youth gathering. So there's all of these elements within the youth gathering. Some of these pictures, actually, I think all the pictures are ones that I took from the last youth gathering. So you can see like every evening, the worship and presentations and music and dancing is all in a big like NFL stadium. So we're going to be in the US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis for the large group sessions. And then they also have a convention center where interactive learning happens. That's really like where the kids get to learn a lot about different ministries within the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, and do a lot of like interactive activities. Like the ELCA colleges will sponsor bumper cars. A lot of different organizations will have hands-on activities. A lot of different groups, like you could take a picture. There was a lot of like selfie booths in there last time. So you learn a little something, you play. It's really fun. Bible study, very interactive Bible study. And there's also a service day. So we get on a bus one day and we find out on the bus that day where we're going and what we'll be doing. So service is an important component of it, and fellowship, of course, which is why it's important to remember that this isn't just a trip, but it's actually a ministry. The ELCA, church-wide organization who, there's 3 staff people in Chicago who like organize this, and then hundreds of volunteers who make this possible every 3 years for the ELCA youth. And, they talk about this as like, it's not just a trip that will go on next summer, but also like building relationships with God and one another. Also our mission statement for Mount Pleasant. How about that? Actually, this picture of me and Jesus was a booth for the Reconciling in Christ congregations, which are open and affirming to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender plus folks. And they had a fun photo booth with Pride Jesus. So their goals are that youth feel affirmed and challenged in their faith, that they experience new perspectives. And, those first 2 points definitely happen. Like they have different speakers from different Christian speakers that are meant to, stretch our understanding of God and of God's people and who God loves and who God welcomes. And it's very open and accepting. And, this is the first time some people experience, hearing about different things. So, pondering our vocation, so our callings, how God is calling us to be in the world, not just, when we grow up, but like who is God calling me to be now? What are my specific gifts and skills that I get to share with the world? Bonding with your congregational group. Adam is going to talk about that more, our plan for that. And learning about the ELCA, learning about our denomination, the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. I think a lot of churches or people in the church just know about like our congregation, and maybe know that like we also have Lutheran camps because they went to Lutherdale or something. But, to be in a place with like, thousands of other youth and adults from all over the country is pretty amazing and makes you learn like what ELCA churches and members are doing all over. So I think that's really awesome. So the theme, as you can see from like all of the branding, including my shirt, got all my swag on tonight. I've got my water bottle, I got my shirt, my background. So boundless, God beyond measure. And this is the theme verse. I want you to know all about Christ's love, although it is too wonderful to be measured. Then your lives will be filled with all that God is. And then this is kind of a theme statement. We are bound by our sin, by the expectations of others, by poverty, by isms that try to divide us, and so much more. We want young people to imagine the boundlessness of God. What are the stories of God's people, both in scripture and modern day, that share in the awe and wonder of just how vast our God is? What does it mean? What does it look like and feel like to live a life that is filled with all that God is? So just having experienced this before, I can say that like the gathering does a good job of living out their theme, and they spend a lot of time and energy like really thinking about like what is it that the youth of today need to hear. So the schedule is what we're planning on is on July 24th, which is a Sunday, we would leave from Mount Pleasant, and the first gathering, the opening worship and speakers and bands and all the fun stuff is at 8 o'clock. So the mass gathering, they call it, at US Bank Center, where the Vikings play, which, I'm sure Wisconsin people have an opinion about that. The final 15, that's kind of at the end of the day, devotions, checking in, like what has your experience of today been? This often happens in smaller groups in hotel rooms, or sometimes we've set aside we've gotten some like general hotel space, like if they'll let us use a room or something, like a banquet room type of deal, so that we can process what we're experiencing. And then Monday through Wednesday, July 25th through 27th, there's like a rotation. So like some people will be doing service learning the first day, and then the next day. So one day is service learning, and then they're in a new thing. This rotation is an interactive learning and Bible study in the afternoon, and then another day would be Synod Day. So something that I think is really cool about this cycle is that Synod Day. So everybody from the Greater Milwaukee Synod is going to be meeting at a local church in Minneapolis or St. Paul. because there's a ton of Lutherans up there. So we're going to meet at a church. We're going to eat lunch together. We're going to worship together, and do different activities together as a synod. And then every night is the mass gathering. So the interactive learning was what I was talking about before in the convention center with all these different booths and stuff like that. And then each day ends with this final 15. And then Thursday is the close of the youth gathering and closing worship. It's pretty amazing to see how they distribute communion to, thousands of people. It's pretty cool. So I wanted to talk a little bit about adult leaders. So any youth can sign up at, like I said, 8th through 12th grade, who is a member of our church, but we're pretty picky about what adults go on the trip, because it's not just like I said, it's not just a trip. It's, and adults need to be participating in the whole year of prep, as the same as the kids, but also it's a unique experience. So some of the things that we look for in an effective adult leader, and we don't call them chaperones because they're not just like babysitting, they're adults who are experiencing this alongside of the youth. So an effective adult leader will have faith and be able to talk about it comfortably, focus on the youth and their needs. Adults will no doubt get something out of it too, but we're there to serve the youth. Be positive and caring and non-anxious, and have unselfish attitudes. Be engaged in all the preparation, like the group builders, fundraisers, getting to know all the kids, the ability to be adaptive and supportive, physical and emotional ability to fully participate. So I had like 12,000 steps every day. So it's a lot of walking. So it's physical, and it's also emotional. So, and helping the youth engage and, helping the group act with grace. So if you or someone is interested in being an adult leader, you can let Adam or I know, and we will kind of assess based on how many kids sign up and, our conversations with you and stuff like that. But back to the youth. So youth should come to the gathering if you want to encounter God with other Christians. Like I said, meeting people from all over the country. If you want to, if you have an open heart and mind to new ideas and people, if you want to have a really unique experience, one of like the kind of taglines has become, you want this as like a marker on your faith journey. Like this is an experience that you want to have as part of your faith journey. It's a lot of fun, like absolutely a lot of fun, that you can commit to it, not just as a trip, but also as a ministry, as I talked about before, and be willing to make new friends and build on existing relationships. So what does it cost? Adam, go ahead and you can talk about this one.
Give me the fun ones.
You bet.
Okay, so the total cost for the event would be about $800, but Mount Pleasant is going to kind of cut the cost in half with you and go 50-50 with parents for it. So we're going to cover about 400 of that. So total, you guys would pay about 400 in would be the total cost for it. There's a $75 deposit, and that's going to be due on October 17th. Is going to be when the deposit is due. That's just to say, hey, we are seriously thinking about going. And then after that, the remaining cost of it is going to be $325. And we can, kind of do payment plans, stuff like that. You don't have to pay it all at once. And another fun thing is we're going to do some fundraisers that can also bring that cost down throughout the year as well. So just think about, it's going to be about $400 for the whole year. So it's not just kind of one big payment at once. So give me the phone.
Thank you. So you might be wondering about COVID stuff. So the gathering took a lot of time and prayer to really think about what they should expect as COVID preparedness. And at this point, they have just announced a few weeks ago that proof of full COVID vaccination or a negative test. So a negative test, they're saying within like 48 or 72 hours. So, and you might be wondering what Mile and the Table are. Those are two pre-events. Mile is a multicultural youth leadership event, and Table is for differently abled folks, youth and their caregivers. So while we don't really fit in either of those categories, Mile, yeah, they're both great free events that we won't be attending, but just to let you know, that's what those are. So, and they'll be coming out with more guidance as it gets closer, as far as, you know, I mean, a lot can change between now and then. And they're very, they are constantly talking to local officials and keeping an eye on the situation. So I know that they will keep us safe as much as anybody can these days. So, Adam, you want to go ahead and talk about this one?
Sure. We got if you guys have a pen and paper and want to take down some notes on some deadlines, we're just going to be going over some deadlines for it. So the registration for our gathering trip is going to be October 17th. That's going to be kind of that deposit date for the deadline. And you guys can sign up online. We're going to have a sign up genus for it. So that'll be online, as well as, yeah, 17th.
Yeah, 17th.
Just think about the 17th.
Yes. So this was our group from last time. This was like we were waiting in line to get into the gathering, the main mass gathering at night. There's a lot of hurry up and wait at the gathering. So it takes a lot of patience because you're moving around, you know, 30,000 people. So, but it was a lot of fun. We wear matching t-shirts every day. So I want to just show you this commitment form. I also emailed this to you today, and we'll make it available in other places. But I just want to stress how important it is to, you know, make the commitment to this. Kind of going along with the idea that this isn't just a trip that we're going to take as youth and adults next summer, but that this is really this is all part of the process. So, so I'm asking you as both youth and parents and families to commit to these following things so that we can grow in relationship with God and with one another. So regularly participating in the life of Mount Pleasant Lutheran Church through worship and Sunday school, confirmation for our 8th graders, youth group for our 9th through 12th graders, which Adam will be sharing more information in the days to come. Participating in at least 5 boundless group building sessions, which will be held every other Sunday from 6 to 7:30, starting on October 17th. 10 sessions will be offered. I can't stress enough how important it is to build our group and to build those relationships and to learn things. There's like a specific set of lessons that are fun and interactive and will help us to prepare, you know, mentally and spiritually for this ministry experience next summer. But you know, it's not just the destination, it's the trip too, the journey. So this is all part of the journey, and Adam is going to talk about that a little bit more, the sessions. But we're really serious about, like, you need to come into at least 5. Youth too, but we really would like you to come to as many as you can. So because the more we participate, the more we build our youth program, the more we are found as a group as we participate in this. So here's a schedule of payments. As Adam mentioned, the $75 deposit is due Sunday, October 17th. And then everybody has the opportunity to participate in fundraisers, but they are optional. So if you do not like participating in fundraisers and you would rather just pay out of pocket, you are welcome to do so. If you would like to, participate and pay down some of this, then, your payments will be less. But so a note about the deposit. So the gathering actually wants us to pay a $150 deposit, but we are splitting the difference with you, and we are also sharing the responsibility. So now, I don't think this is likely that they would cancel the youth gathering, but it's always a possibility. We are in a pandemic, hopefully things are getting better, but we've said that before. No one has a crystal ball. So, but if we should have to, if it should be canceled, the $150 deposits that we will pay and you will pay half of, those are not refundable. So we are sharing the burden of responsibility with you, because we can use that deposited money that they're keeping towards our group in 2 years. But we know that your child may not be eligible in 2 years, which is why we are sharing the responsibility on that. I just wanted to explain that a little further. And also down here, it says, if the gathering is canceled due to COVID or any other reason, I understand that my $75 deposit will not be refunded. The other $325 will be refunded. So, so here the last payment is due on May 1st. Your payment might be $125, or it might be, nothing if you are able to fundraise enough to, scratch that final payment, or maybe even the payment before. It's really up to you how much fundraising you want to do. So if you need to make a late payment or need financial assistance, if your financial situation changes, if you're in a situation where you really want your kid to go and 400 seems like too much, we want your kid to go. Like we can help you. If you need financial assistance, please just talk to Adam or I. So if you need to drop out for any reason, you will be responsible for finding a youth replacement or covering the $400 cost. As you can imagine, this experience costs a lot of money, and it's absolutely worth it. But we have to make payments throughout the year, and so again, we're sharing the responsibility there. So I know that's like reading to you, but I just need to stress the importance of the things that we've put in writing here. So I'm going to stop sharing that and share my presentation again, because I believe that, yes, Adam is going to talk about our getting ready sessions and then a little bit about the fundraiser ideas. So go ahead and talk about getting ready while I get this thing back.
All right. So we got so for the getting ready kind of theme that we're going for, the boundless theme, the ELCA had actually put out a curriculum for us to follow, and we're not going to be covering all of it, but kind of my idea was to form a Sunday night youth group with some of the kids, and then we'd be meeting every other Sunday with the church and kind of covering some of the curriculum that they want us to go over. And in that curriculum, they have a lot of the jargon that's going to be used at the gathering. So like terminology that might be different for some students, as well as just some maybe sensitive topics for the kids, like George Floyd. We're going to be talking about that. Racism, stuff that happened in Minneapolis. Those could be some sensitive topics for the kids, and just in general. So we're going to be covering some of that stuff. And that is why we're kind of pushing for, hey, try and at least make 5 of these things. That way your kid is, the youth are prepared for if we're going to have some tough conversations at the gathering, they won't be blindsided by it. So that's one of the reasons, as well as we're going to use the youth group this year to just do some fun events. So this upcoming, we're going to go to Jerry Smith Farms in October. So just doing some fun stuff with the kids and doing a lot of group building stuff. So that's kind of a quick and dirty of our plan for group building, is using the youth group's idea to kind of do some lessons throughout. It's going to go through March, basically. It's like a 10 sessions throughout the year through March. And then, yeah, it's kind of our plan. So Sunday nights, get ready. Should be fun. And yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
And another like just important thing about that is like the boundless curriculum is like, it is specific to Minneapolis in some ways, but it's broadly applicable too. Like they want churches to use this with our, 8th through 12th graders. Like, so, everyone is invited, whether you're going to the gathering or not, but we especially want like our 8th graders who come, to come to high school youth group that night, because it'll be specific to the gathering in some ways and sometimes not. So.
Yep. So I guess moving on to the fundraisers. So our fundraisers, kind of our policy with this one is I'll help be a facilitator, but we're going to let a lot of the youth and the parents kind of lead and take responsibility for most of the fundraisers. So if you guys need help, if we need help getting a, date set for the church and a time and this and that, and, getting people recruited, I'll help with that. But if we're doing, a chili dinner, kind of the expectation would be for the parents to supply the chili and that kind of stuff.
And other people in the congregation will sign up too, but
right. Yeah. But I'll handle a lot of, we'll kind of handle a lot of the advertising for any fundraisers. So if we want to do like a chili dinner or something, we'll get the word out for you, but it'll be more on, if you guys want to do it, we're going to let you, you and the youth take a lot of the kind of the responsibility for it. And I do have a few ideas for you that we were thinking about. Me and Chris were shooting out some ideas. So I guess just let us know if you are interested in some of them. Yeah, I'd say that pretty much covers it for fundraisers.
Yeah. After October 17th, once we kind of have an idea of who is going to go, we're going to, we'll email everybody and say, if you are interested in participating in fundraisers, let's set up another meeting so that we can set a schedule, get ideas, get the ball rolling on that. But I think it's important to know that like Adam is the project manager, not the builder or like chief bottle washer of the fundraisers. So, all right. So we have gotten to the end of what we wanted to cover. And I want you to just take notes of all of the resources that the gathering has out there. The elca.org/gathering is a great website, chock full of information. And they have all kinds of like pictures, stories, videos, promotional videos, things like that. Also on YouTube. Are just a ton of videos like why should I go to the gathering? What is the gathering? All kinds of good stuff. Definitely watch the video that I sent. I'll send it again of our last group. The kids took the pictures, they took the video, they did the editing, and it tells the story of their experience, which will be, very similar to next summer too. So. And, following the gathering on all of the social media is good. And if you have questions, you can contact Adam or I, and there's our email addresses. And we will try to help you with that. So at this point, I want to open it up to questions that you might have about what we've said or things that we didn't cover.
there's not a plan to take an extra day on either end of the gathering trip right now?
Right now, there is not. That is not in the plans right now. But that's could be part of the conversation. But at this point, no.
And they're driving?
Yes. So it'll depend on how many kids we have as to how we travel. You know, if we get a bunch of kids and we can get a bus, we'll get a bus. And if we have like 10 kids, I think we can rent, you know, vans. So it kind of depends. But yes, we'll be driving.
And this is probably getting a little bit too granular here, but do the adult guides, I think is what you call them, or adult
Leaders.
leaders, didn't want to use the C word.
That's right.
Do they do they get their own hotel room, or do they have to sleep with the kids?
They get their own, well, okay, they do get their own, they have to share it with other adults.
Okay.
You don't have to, you don't have to sleep in the same room as the kids. So,
Okay.
yeah. So like last time we had 3 women in one room, 2 women in another room, and 4 men in another room. The men got the short end of the stick. Yeah, you won't be in a room with the kids. So that's another thing. We stay in hotels. We get assigned a hotel, so we don't get to choose what hotel we're in. But, you know, yeah. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Of course. No, it's a good question. What else? Kara, did we answer all your questions? Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. Anything I've missed? I've gone to the last 2 and it's just like, it's such a cool experience. And like, you know, the group building that happens beforehand and like all the little planning things, like, you know, I quickly mentioned that we, you know, wear the same t-shirts every day. Like the kids designed a couple of the t-shirts, and a couple of the t-shirts, like, you know, like for the Synod Day, you know, we were wearing the same t-shirts as like 400 other people, you know, from the greater Milwaukee area. And, you know, on service day, like everybody wears an orange t-shirt. So it's like when we were in Detroit, they called us like Skittles, because looking out on the crowd, it like looks like Skittles. Like they just take over the city, and there's so much intention put into this event too, you know. Like I said, there's 3 full-time staff members who work in an office in Chicago, and then there's tons of volunteers who, you know, plan the Synod Day, who plan the service projects with local people who live there, who plan transportation. Like, can you imagine the logistics of transporting all these people around town? It's just amazing. And then, you know, all the churches that bring kids, and you know, one thing that a role that I have is a gathering synod coordinator. So I'm kind of like the point person, like the first question answerer for people in my synod. So in our synod, so that like people don't call the main office with all their questions, you know. So I try to help adult leaders like take youth to and that's a volunteer job. And there's 64 other people who do that job. And there's like a team of adults and youth who plan the programming and, you know, vet the speakers. So it's just like, and the safety part, we haven't talked about safety, but like they put a lot of energy into safety and security. They hire their own security, private security. They work very closely with the local police, you know, and they follow protocols, and, you know, so though it would seem like it would be hard to keep thousands of people safe, kids safe, like they do it, and they do an amazing job with it. So
I do actually have a question, if it's okay, in regards to safety. That was one of the things I was thinking about. Unfortunately, in this day and age, do they have metal detectors to get in?
They did. Yeah, last time we did have metal detectors. Yeah. So
Okay.
I would imagine, yeah, because we're dealing with such big venues.
Mhm.
And like even if you went to a Vikings game, you would be walking through a metal detector. So I don't think there were medical detectors like at the convention center, but like at the the stadium where everybody gathers every night, they had metal detectors. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, if there aren't any other questions or comments, I'm gonna wrap this up. If you should have any questions or comments or concerns, please reach out to Adam or myself. Um, and yeah, I hope that that your kids consider joining us because it really is just an amazing experience. I'm saying us, but Pastor Beth Ann is going, and so is Adam. But I am helping on this end. So, so all right. Well, thank you all so much. And yeah, let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Krista, Adam. Thank you so much. Really
You're
helpful.
welcome. Good. I'm glad.
See you again.